welcome to Turtle Tracks Podcast. This is your host, Brian Van Hooker. This is a different kind of episode today. I conducted a bunch of little mini interviews with TMNT retailers, different toy sellers and custom cool stuff makers. Sit back and enjoy. You got a handful of mini interviews here and some classic commercials cut into the middle there. Enjoy and check out all these cool accounts for people that I'm including here. First up on this retailer special is Ethan from Second Time Around Toys and Comics on Instagram, and he has his website, secondtimearoundtoysandcomics.com. Ethan is a vintage toy seller as well as a comic book retailer based in Las Vegas, Nevada. And here is my interview with Ethan. How you doing today, Ethan?
Good, man. How you doing, Brian?
Good. So Ethan, this is part of our retailer special, and Ethan is you sell lots of turtle stuff, but mostly vintage toys in the Las Vegas area, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, we specialize in vintage toys, especially Ninja Turtles, of course. But I like, everything from, our childhood, of course, piques my interest. And I also do some comic books, mostly vintage and graded books. I don't have any new books coming in, but once we open our store soon, hopefully in the next couple months, I'll have some new books and some pull boxes available once we get that open.
So yeah, to be clear, so Ethan is on Instagram. It's second with the number 2. Second Time Around Toys and Comics on Instagram. You also have a website. What's the website?
It's also the same thing, Second Time Around toysandcomics.com.
And you do lots of local Vegas area conventions and things like that, right?
We do. Yes, we do the toy shows and a lot of the card shows and some of the Comic Cons as well. We haven't really traveled out just yet, but we plan to very soon.
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on in Vegas, so that's probably a good place for it.
Yeah, there's always something happening here, definitely.
Now, let me ask you, how long ago did you get into this?
Well, I've been, collecting toys, especially Ninja Turtles, for my entire life. But then I'd say about 2014, I started working at Rogue Toys and just started building my collection even more, getting into the toys and learning more about toy lines that I wasn't really interested or didn't know much about before. And then fast forward to the future, now I'm buying and selling my own toys and trying to build my collection that way. Just building collections that to fulfill what I need, and then I just sell what I don't, and I just got overwhelmed with stuff that I don't need now. So I might as well open up a store. So that's how the website came, because at first Instagram was just my collection, me showing off my toys and comics from Ninja Turtles, Second Time Around Toys and Comics. And that was kind of my homage to April's store, of course.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's just blown up since then. And then, I started doing the shows, and then the website's been picking up. And and then we hope to open up a store somewhere out here very soon also. So it's going pretty well.
What do you remember when it came to you that you should name it after April's pawn shop?
I don't. It was very early in Instagram. I want to say like 2015 when I got into it, and I was just thinking of names. And that just clicked in my head somehow. Like, I didn't intend it to be like a store or anything like that. I just wanted to share my toys and comics and kind of keep record of what I was collecting, what I had, and what I needed. And then, just the name just came because I'm a fan of the movie Phantom Turtles. I just thought it'd be cool, and it just kind of stuck.
Was there any grail items that you were on the hunt for a long time that you were able to satisfy this way?
I love Raphael, so I finally have every Raphael figure that Playmates has made, because my goal is to have everything from 88 to 97 when they stopped. So I do have every Raphael, and of course, like, one of the goals was to get the grail of the undercover Raph, which I was able to get quite a few years ago for only like $250.
Oh, nice.
I wish I would have got them all back then, but
I wish I had too, because Donatello in Disguise was my favorite toy. So for some reason, when I was a kid, whenever I saw them, I only got Leo, Raph, and Mikey. and Michelangelo has since broken, but my Raphael and my Leonardo is still in good shape. So
Oh, very cool. From your childhood?
yeah. Most of the stuff I have, I mean, you can see a lot of
Yeah.
most of the stuff I have is stuff I just never got rid of. Like there was like a moment. Let's see. There's probably like when I'm in my teens, there was like a moment where I like attempted to grow up, and then
Yeah,
I
same here.
sold off my slat and not slash scratch for
Ah,
um and then immediately regretted it and bought it back for more money. Um,
I
and
never had a scratch as a kid.
oh, I've got scratch. I've got most of it. There's only a couple things I still want that I haven't been able to track down. Super Mutant Shredder is one. Uh,
Yeah, actually, I don't have him either. I have the whole set except for Shredder. I have
Same.
the
Yeah,
black
that's a
pit.
tough one.
Yeah, definitely.
What else I have? I recently filled. And recently, I mean, like within the last 5 years, filled Gatekeeper, Rocksteady, and Warrior Bebop.
Nice.
Those were big ones because Warrior Bebop, I found it randomly one day in a used toy store for like $40, and I was like, I
Wow,
never really
that's
give a
cool.
shit about accessories that much. Like that's not, I don't care
Yeah,
that much about accessories. So I was like, oh my god. So then it like that was a huge one for me that recently got filled in.
that's very cool. Yeah, I'm kind of a completionist. Like I have to have all the accessories and stuff.
I'm okay
Uh,
without it. Like I've also like I said, most of my stuff was like played with or all that, so they're not in perfect shape. But I'm
yeah.
also like I like to pose them and all that, so I'm not an inbox guy at all. So
Yeah, I have a lot of my loose figures I still have from my childhood, thankfully, but I lost all my vehicles. So then I've had to repurchase all the vehicles, but I have them
okay,
all now. Just missing a few of the figures, and I'll be done pretty much with that line.
which ones are
But
still missing for you?
I'm missing three undercovers and the Warrior Rocksteady
Okay.
and the Super Mutant Shredder.
Oh wow.
Yeah, minus like the Japanese variants. I want to do those too, like the Takaras. I have yet to do any of those.
I think I have I don't remember what they're called, but there was the slightly smaller scaled ones where they kind of had the armor on them, and there was
Yeah, the metal mutants, right?
yeah, but I don't have the
Yeah.
metal parts. I had Donatello, and now I have three of the four.
Oh, nice.
Um, but like they didn't it was all the same mold, which I think they're
Yeah,
all
the figure itself. Yeah, they all look the
yeah.
same.
I don't think I have any of the pieces
What's
anymore,
their
but
piece of
they're
color?
cool looking toys. So
Yeah, they're super cool. Yeah, I
yeah,
love all that stuff. So
yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's any. There's a few. There's very few other things that I'm like. I feel like I need. I collect. I don't know. Do you collect any current stuff?
yeah, I do have like a lot of the almost everything NECA, pretty
Same.
much everything NECA made. Super Seven. I kind of stopped the last few waves. I didn't get any. And then a lot of the loyal subject stuff I have, not all of it.
Super 7, I like what they're doing, but it was just like too much, so I kind of opted just for the glow in the dark one. But then I didn't get Slash when it was on pre-order, and now I can't like it's obscene amount of money. So
Yeah, right.
but
The dark. Yeah, I got the Baxter and the Foot Soldier, I believe, for
and
those.
the
I didn't
foot
think
soldier one I kind of like I have this like OCD thing where like I can't just buy one foot soldier, I need like 8 or 10. So
Oh
kind of
yeah,
just
with my vintage. I don't know if you can see behind me. I have like 100 vintage foot soldiers.
oh really? I can't
Yeah.
hear yet.
Oh yeah, it's just
I have a decent amount, but not. I probably have like, I feel like 8 is usually the amount where I'm like, okay, that feels
that's
at
good.
least enough, right?
Yeah, when I first met my wife, that's what she was always buying them for me and stuff. So I had a decent amount, like still from my childhood, and then she started buying me some, and then I would just buy them every time they came into Rogue Toys, or every time I seen a deal, I would just buy them and buy them and buy them. Yeah, I'm about a little over 100 loose foot soldiers now.
Now you've also done a lot of cool events, like I know you did a con where you had at your booth like the voice actors, right?
Yeah, so the last that was the Silver State con, the Silver State Toys and Comics Expo that we had here a few months back.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I had a pretty big booth there, and I had my buddy Jason Ybarra. I don't know if you know Jason. He
Yeah,
has the Turtle
I
Band.
met
He was
him.
actually, yeah.
I met him. So I went out in California, and it was like, and this is the saddest story ever. And I was like, I was out in California one week, and I reached out to him, was like, can I see the van, right? And I was gonna, and I interviewed him too, and like, um, but we had some sort of miscommunication at one point, and I went to meet him to go see the van because it's hard to interview people in person because then the audio quality
Yeah.
is shitty. Um, so like I went to go meet him in person, and he thought I was there to do the interview and didn't really worry about the van part of it. And he's like, "Oh, well, there's Ratchet over there," and it was just a fucking ambulance.
Yeah.
Uh,
His trans.
yeah, and I was like, I had my turtle shirt on. I was so excited. I was like a 5-year-old,
Ah.
and it was just fucking Ratchet. And I was like, I was so sad and pathetic that eventually he was like, "All right, I live like 10 minutes from here. Just follow me." So I drove to his place, and he let me take a picture of me in the van, and it was the most. It was awesome, but it was very like it was very sad story leading up to it. But yeah,
No, yeah. I mean,
Jason's
of
cool. Yeah,
course, you want to see the turtle band. No,
yeah,
I love that band. Jason's super cool, man. I've known him for quite a few years now. But yeah, so we had him at the con,
yeah.
and then they had all four voice actors plus Renee, which I love. You know, they're all of them. They're so great. I love them people.
They're so nice.
So
Like I just did my 100th episode, and I had the four of them on it. Um,
yeah, that's very cool. That was awesome.
oh, I'm cool, and they're just like genuinely super nice people. Like really.
Yeah, definitely. I love them all. They're so great. And then yeah, so we had them out, and the promoter of the con. I mean, I was supposed to be like a sponsor of the one they had a few years back with the turtles, and it didn't, something didn't happen, and then so all of a sudden, so they asked me to be the promoter this time. So they actually put my logo on all the banners, and it was like a dream come true as a turtle fan for me to have, you know, all the banners with my logo on them. And then they gave me a huge booth next to Jason's van, so that was really cool. And then I had Aaron Hazori come out. Actually, he was on his way out there anyways. And I'm like, "Say, you want to make some money while you're here and sign at my booth?" So he did some signing at my booth for a few hours. So it was a really cool event.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that
awesome.
was,
Aaron's a good buddy of mine. He did the logo for my podcast, and we've been
yeah.
talking for a few years now. And also speaking of Aaron, you are doing a second time around exclusive comic coming up, right? Of
Yes,
his.
yes, we're very excited about that. I'm excited Aaron was able to jump on board and be the artist for that, you know, being his first cover and my first variant. I'm hoping he'll do very well. It's a badass cover. I know everyone's going to love it. Um, so I was able to get him on was able to get him to do that, which is very cool. And he was super excited to be the artist. And it's going to be the 40th anniversary comics special for the 40th anniversary from IDW. So like a 75-page book. We're going to have 500 issues. We're going to have some signed, some unsigned, and some signed with head sketches available on the website. As soon as I get the full rendering from IDW, I'll have a pre-order up on the website. And I'm going to post about that on Instagram and Facebook to let everybody know when that's available for pre-order.
Is that a retailer incentive cover? Is that how they call them?
Yeah, retailer exclusive.
Exclusive, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
thanks
you
to
so
Rich
like
Horn because
you don't have to be in the Vegas area to get that because I like just because he's such a good friend, like I want to make sure I get a copy of that. You can order it online from you.
oh yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna give Aaron will have some copies as well, but he's in California and I'm in Vegas. But yeah, I'll have them for pre-order on the website, and I'll have them in hand once they come to me for sure.
Very cool. And you had him now, did you I'm curious, did you have him did you choose the subject matter and the kinds of turtles, or was that his choice? How did that come to be?
It's a funny story. He actually sent me. We were wanting to do the number one, the new number one, and the number one is based on rap. So we were had a bunch of sketches. I told him just go ahead and throw me a bunch of sketches together to see which one I might like. And he did about 6 different rough covers, and we chose, you know, the one that we both thought was the coolest, and it just happened to be the Mirage Turtles. And I mean, he hasn't done really. I love the Mirage Turtles, and we are gonna do Raph, and the IDW came back that it has to be for that issue that it has to be more IDW like different beaks and stuff like that. They can't look like Mirage Turtles.
Oh.
So I'm like, so I really don't want to do, I didn't want Aaron to go out of his own style. I know he does a lot of cartoony stuff, but doesn't really do like the IDW turtle. So the rep at IDW suggested, hey, I mean, this would be great for the 40th anniversary for the Mirage style. And so we're like, okay, cool. And so to keep, you know, the cover that we wanted and that we both agreed on, we're like, okay, let's go all in for the 40th anniversary. It's going to be a lot less issues. I would have had about 1,200 copies of the number one, but now we're down to 500 because it's a bigger book, and it's going to be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it.
That's cool. I mean, I'm excited about both. The Jason Aaron book and the 40th. But I am honestly, I'm more excited about the 40th book. So like, I'm
Yeah.
delighted to hear that. That's great.
And I don't know how many variants they're going to be for that. I know there's a ton of variants for the number one. That's another reason we're like, oh, let's go with the 40th because there's a ton of variants for the number one. There's probably going to be quite a few for the 40th too, but I know everyone's going to love to see a cover from Aaron, and I like that the only way you can get it is going to be from my website also. So that's what was the main reason to get my name out there. I want to start pushing the website a little harder now, just let people know about Second Time Around Comics.com as well as the Instagram that they follow, you know.
That's very, yeah, I was very excited that he was doing it. And like I said, it's cool because like he is most known for like sort of 87 style kind of happy chunky turtles. So
Yeah.
it's a cool like really like he's great at everything, but like it was a good it's cool to see him his taking the Mirage turtles too. So
Yeah, he started doing a few little sneak peeks up to the reveal we did last Turtle Tuesday. He was doing some sneak peeks of some of the headshots and stuff, and we're getting a lot of great feedback from people about
oh, okay.
the blackness that he's using, like the darker style, the Mirage turtles, of course, and yeah, it's getting some great feedback so far. So I hope it does pretty well. I know a lot of everyone I show it to is pretty excited about it. So I love the cover. I think it's going to be great. And I have to give it up to Rich Horn. I don't know if the Comic Con after that was the Toy Con, and I actually had a Rich Horn come out with the negatives set up
Oh
at
yeah.
the booth next to mine. Yeah, so I had a booth there, and I brought out Rich with the negatives. It was like a month before he went to Portsmouth, and I was talking to him like, "Hey, how can I get a variant?" So I have to give it up to him for giving me all the correct info and all the info, the people that I needed to contact to get the variant going. So that was great.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've had Rich on. That and seeing those negatives in person, man, it's insane.
Yeah, the first time I saw him was in GraniteCon about I don't know, it was about 3 years ago when he had him there.
Oh, what year were
Yeah,
you there?
I think it was 2022, maybe it was
Okay,
the one
sure.
before last. And I believe I met you there. I know I've seen you there, and we're in the same room, but I don't think we actually like met. But I know
Oh,
we were
right. Yeah.
both like talking to Kevin at the same time because I remember we had
Huh.
like the same shirt on. It was like the Stern Pinball shirt, and Kevin's like, "Where'd you guys get that shirt?" And we're both like, "From the Stern Pinball." Like, so that was funny.
Oh, that's so funny. Like I didn't realize. And then like we corresponded. And I think you bought something off me recently, right?
Yeah, that little Leo plush. Yeah, you posted
That's
that. I'm
it.
like,
Yes, yes,
oh
yes.
yeah, because I have all the larger ones and all the medium sized ones, but I don't have any of the small ones. So that was cool.
I had Donatello forever, and I wanted um the other three, and I found this lot that was like those three plus a whole bunch of other ones I didn't need, so I just bought the whole lot, and it was a good price. So I was like, and then I was like, I'm at this point in my collecting now that I either have to buy the others. Like I had a giant mutating Donatello, and I'm like, I either need to buy the other mutating ones and spend $800 on them, or get rid of the Donatello.
Yeah, that's one way to think of it.
Yeah, so like I get the so I've been doing a little bit of that lately, where it's like, okay, I got the certain things that I have one of. I'm like, it's bothering me. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
get the other one. I
Once
gotta
you
get
get
rid of
rid
it.
of one, you're like, oh, okay, now I don't need all four since I
Right,
don't have.
exactly. Like that's okay. I don't even
I
really
need to start doing that.
yeah, I don't really like the mutating turtles that much anyway. So like
I love the giant ones. The giant ones are amazing.
I mean they're cool. I don't know, they're just sort of my thing. And it's so funny, like that the turtles were okay, and the Bebop and Rocksteady were okay, except for the fact that Bebop was white. But the God, they made
Oh, that's right.
really goofy things with that mutating set, like Race Car Donnie and Fire Truck Leo and all that. I don't know if you have those.
Yeah. Yo, yeah, I have all those. Yeah,
They're
for sure.
terrible toys. They look.
Yeah. Well, Donnie's almost like a G1 Jazz when you put them next to each other, like G1 Transformer Jazz. They look like
Oh yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
The one
But
I
yeah,
do
the rest of
like,
them are just not like anything else.
they're all like kind of like they're just boxy and like when they're turtles, they look terrible. Like the one I do
Yeah, just super
like.
bulky square.
Oh, the one I do like is Splinter in the turtle van because it looks like he's driving the turtle van, and the turtle van
Yeah,
looks cool. That one's
Yeah,
great.
that one's super cool. That one, I'm trying to get all of them as doubles because I want to display them like in their turtle mode and their like vehicle mode. So
Oh
I
wow.
have quite a few of them like doubles of them now. I just got a lot that had 4 of them in there, so I'm like trying to get the rest of them. So I
I
don't
always
have to
thought
transform them anymore. I just keep them one and one.
that's smart. I always thought the transforming Shredder, the one that transforms into Orokusaki, was great.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, that
that,
one's cool.
because they didn't have a lot of like. I feel like I don't know if you felt like this when you were a kid, but I felt like the Shredders. There's very few that were cool. Like I liked Wacky Action Shredder, except
Yeah,
holes in them. But like the original Shredder, I was never that fond of. Uh,
no, Super Shredder was always my favorite. Yeah.
Super Shredder was good. I also really liked uh, Next Mutation Shredder.
Oh yeah, he's pretty cool too.
Like
Yeah,
that
he's
that
I
show's
like that
terrible,
one.
but the toys for that show are
Yeah,
excellent.
the toys are badass, and they
Yeah.
have that rubbery feel like the old movie star turtles too. They're all soft and rubbery. Yeah, I love those. I just recently got the Donatello to finish like the 4 turtles. I had his
Oh, nice.
accessories forever, but I was missing Donnie. I'm like, so I finally found one. I
I
have
had
all 4 turtles: Venus, I think Shredder, and Splinter.
not
That's all
that
I
long
need.
ago. I got the four. I got the all five. I got the original five set. And I also have the five that they're in like these Hawaiian clothes and shit. I don't know if you know what I'm
Oh
talking about.
yeah, the sewer spitters.
I think so. They came with skateboards. They came with like a skateboard, and they usually like they're wearing these like funky Hawaiian shirts and stuff like that, and pants. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. But
I
they're really
think so. Are the vintage ones, right?
yeah. They're really cool.
Yeah, I think I know. Like, they have the squirters on their back. Those ones.
No. Like the oh, I'll show you. Sorry.
No worries.
Like no, the next mutation ones like this.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, those are cool. Yeah, no, I just have like the main
The basic
ones,
ones. Yeah.
and I have like
You don't
one
need
of
to.
and I have like the Turtle Flage Wrath carded. The
Oh, okay.
Turtle Flage ones, yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
toys are
I have too
like
much
the
of
toys
them.
are really like that show is obviously not great, but the toys were very
Yeah, the
good.
toys are awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Um,
love them.
I'm gonna let you go. Please share some upcoming cons and shows and stuff. So when is that 40th anniversary thing coming out? Over the summer, right?
So that'll be released July 10th, the 40th anniversary
Awesome.
comics special, I believe it's called. Yeah, and it's a big book. I think it's 11.99 cover price for the regular covers. But of course, the variants are always, the variants are different. So I'll have them up on the website. We'll have an unsigned option, and then a signed option, and then a signed with head sketch option, all by Aaron. And I
Nice.
might even have a few CGC options available as well. I'm still trying to
Oh,
figure that out.
when does pre-orders go up for you?
As soon as I get the renderings back, like the official cover renderings from IDW, I'm gonna throw it up, and I'll make a countdown and announcement on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Oh, so honestly, like this is probably not going to run for a couple weeks. It might very well be up by the time this episode goes up. So everybody check it out. Again, it's second time around. On a second time around.
Toys and comics.
Yeah, on Instagram. Also, there's the website. Can you give us the website again?
Second time around, toysandcomics.com.
For all kinds of vintage toy needs, especially turtle stuff. I
Yeah, we're
always
always buying and trading and looking for collections as well. So
oh, awesome. I guess my last question for you is um well who because I asked this of everybody, who's your favorite turtle and why?
oh, Raphael. Why? I know why. There's a couple reasons why. I mean, I feel like he's kind of like I'm the middle. I was the middle brother until my little brothers were born. But I always felt like he's kind of like the middle child, the loner, and he just goes and does his own thing. That was always me when I was young. I didn't hang out with my brothers. I always did my own thing. And he was also my very first action figure that I ever got that I can remember the day I got him. I remember my mom, me were at Toys R Us, and I saw him. I'm like, and I still have that same figure and I cherish it. If I lost my whole collection, I would keep that one Raphael. So
Oh, that's
that
awesome.
Raph's always had my heart. And I do now have every single, I just finally got the water baby Raph. I don't know if you know that one. That's like
Yes, that's a
so
crazy one. That's
yeah,
so
so that
weird.
completes my Playmates Raphael collection. I have every single one now,
Wow.
including like the practice pal and everything that Raph any Raph that Playmates did from 88, 7 to 97 I have now. So I
Okay,
love Raph. That's my dude.
as a bonus question of all those 80 of all the classic figures, What's your favorite RAF variant and why?
Um, Man, there's quite a few. I love that water baby raft. I'll tell you that. I have the giant troll raft. I love that dude.
Giant troll. Okay, the troll. I love the troll toys. They're really stupid and great. Like I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mutations Air Force raft is pretty badass. He turned into a jet.
Okay.
I don't think I can choose one, other than my original. He's even a hardhead. I love I love my original hardhead raft, but all
That's
the
nice. That was
variants.
my first toy too. I'm a Donnie
Oh,
guy.
you know what?
What was that?
It just dawned on me. My variant is my favorite variant is the Grand Slam raft. That's my dude.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, I even got when Kevin first put his signed action figures up on his website. That's the first one I snatched. I'm like, oh hell yeah! So
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good one. That's
I
cool.
really had to think about it. That was a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's my favorite or not, but the one that comes to mind for me for Raph is the that magician Raph was really goofy and fun.
Oh, Wrath of Magnificence. Yes.
Yes. I love
Yeah,
that
I
one.
love that one too. Yeah, with his little cards up his sleeve and the rabbit out of his hat. Yeah, he's cool.
I kept losing the little cap part of it, but I never like it wouldn't I wouldn't lose it entirely. It would just go missing and then I'd find it again all the time.
I know. I hear the little deck of cards that goes up his sleeves. I hear that's like the most hardest to find accessory and out of all turtles. It's so
Is it?
micro, like a little deck of cards. It just pops right in his sleeve. But I have mine, so that's cool.
The Mikey for that set, I'm on a tangent, I'm sorry. The Mikey for that set, I think, has like maybe the coolest accessory ever. I think it came with a couple of bowling pins that were sculpted to look like Bebop and Rocksteady.
Was that him? Let me see. Where is he at?
Was it him? Or was it
Ah, I don't think so. No. Where is he? No, it's actually the Wrath. The Wrath
was it
has
with
the ball.
Raph?
Yeah,
Oh wow. Okay, so it was him.
yeah.
Okay.
I have them all right next to me on display. Yeah,
That,
so yeah,
that those
Mikey
little
had like
accessories, I don't think I realized that they were Bebop and Rocksteady until like 5 years ago. And I was like,
yeah, the bowling pins themselves, yeah, Bebop and
the
Rocksteady.
details are insane on those. They're so cool.
I know, even like shell kicking Raps, like he has a soccer ball and another ball is like a rolled up foot soldier. Like that
Yes.
one's pretty cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
cool.
I love the detail they put into those are just unmatched. I just wish they would do that again
Yeah.
with the toys these days. Like I don't know why the quality had to go down as our age went up, but
Yep. I mean, that's
yeah,
why
but
we spend so much on NECA toys, right?
I know, right? Playmates needs to step it up. I do love the new 40th anniversary sketch turtles they just
Oh
did.
my gosh, I haven't gotten those yet. Have you gotten them?
Yeah, I just found a set the other day. I was in Arizona and I stopped at a random Target and I got them, so I was super stoked about that.
Cool. That's got to be the coolest thing they've done in years. I'm so excited about
Yeah, it had yeah for sure. Those and the figures that they packed with the Stranger Things, those Mirage turtles they did, those are awesome. I don't
that.
know
Are
why
they?
they didn't do
I
those.
I kind of feel like what I was collecting NECA the moment they came out. So I have the '08 ones. I also have the Lawson ones. So I agree the Stranger Thing ones looked very cool. I feel like that itch has been scratched for me.
Yeah, but for Playmates, I mean, because they did those singly boxed Mirage turtles already, but they had like the same sculpt from like all the other 7-inch figures they've been doing. They just painted them.
Yeah.
But and then they make these with the Stranger Things. I'm like, oh my goodness, those would have been great to be individually packaged as
Yeah.
the but I don't know why they had to do it
And
then
like
and not before. But
it was weird though, like those ones I feel like the scale is weird with the Stranger Things figures. Like they're way bigger than they
yeah,
could.
they are. They're super big. Yeah, they are larger for sure. It's like they're made separate and just tossed together.
Yeah. But I mean like they are very cool looking. I although I feel like the ninja action ones, I'm sure you know which ones I'm talking about. Like
Oh yes.
those ones like are like really very Mirage like, which I love.
Yeah.
I still
My
love.
Leonardo has stuck quite crazy backflips before. That's
What's that?
my Leonardo has done some pretty gnarly tricks, backflips off of things before.
Yeah,
I
those
put
were
that
very
to
cool
work.
too.
Yeah,
They didn't
used to
always
backflip them
work
off
the
everything.
way as well as you wanted them to, but they were very cool looking.
Yeah, my Leo always was pretty good, but yeah, the other few weren't that great.
Yeah. I never figure out what Mikey was supposed to do. Like I don't
He
know.
just jumps. Wait, yeah, I don't know. He like jumps back onto his back or pulls his nunchucks out and jumps forward. Something. Him and
Yeah.
Rap didn't land on their feet like Donnie and Leo.
Yeah, Donnie had the crazy cartwheel. Even Donnie's didn't work that well for me. The cartwheels.
Yeah, that was a hit and miss, but yeah,
Yeah,
Leo would stick a backflip every
Leo
every
was
almost
mine.
every time. for sure.
Anyway, man, again, the second time around, Toys and Comics, Instagram, there's a website, lots of cool vintage shit, and now some cool comics on the way. Ethan, I appreciate this. Thank you for talking to me. This is
Yeah,
great.
no, thank you, Brian. It's great to talk to you. Thanks for having me. I very appreciate it, dude. Have a good night.
You too, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
It's Turtle's zaniest video bloopers. First, here's Leonardo in his wind-up Jolly Turtle tugboat with paddle wheel and pirate cannon. He's making quite a splash. Next, check out Rocksteady in his pogo copter with pilot's cockpit and power propeller. No wonder they call them choppers. Finally, there's Raph in his sewer speedboat. Looks like he's converting to hyperhydrofoil. What's the rush? I thought there was something fishy. From Playmates.
Next up, here's an interview with Custom Hats NY on Instagram. This is the guy making really awesome custom hats and fanny packs and a few other things out of old bed sheets and things like that. Mostly Ninja Turtles, but also other cool stuff. Check him out, Custom Hats NY on Instagram, and here's the interview. Jared, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So again, the account here is Custom Hats NY, and he's made a lot of like really awesome hats out of like old turtle patterns, like the bed sheets. I think there's a couple of sleeping bags and stuff. Like what stuff have you sourced for these? These are awesome.
Okay, so we're calling it upcycling.
Okay.
I'm more of let's save nature, let's save the turtles, you know?
Yeah.
So I saw that Roosevelt, which I'll call results because that's how it is in New York. That's how everyone calls it. I saw that Roosevelt hoodie and I was like, I'm 40 years old, I'm having a baby. I want to be that cool dad. So I buy this stupid sweatshirt. Wife's pregnant. Start walking around with it, and I'm getting like looks. I'm like, what? I'm gonna get robbed. What do these people want from me? I'm wearing New Balance sneakers. I don't have jewelry or anything. Like, what are you looking at? And she's like, they want your hat. I'm like, seriously? Like, just make the hat. And then people were like, where'd you get that? And I'm just like, I made it. They're like, who made it for you? And I was like, it's custom. They're like, oh, who designed it? I was like, I drew it on a bar napkin. And they're like, oh, you know, like the angles. I'm like, you like look at the prints, you have adult beverage, and you just come up with some creative stuff, and you cut and you try and you perfect it. And they're like, how many drawings did it take you? And I was like, one.
So to be clear, you got that the Roosevelt's hoodie that was based on the bed sheets, right?
Yeah.
And then you wanted a hat to match it?
I really think when people first look at you, they don't look at your sneakers, they look at your face, they look at your teeth, they're judgmental. They don't look down. People say they look down at your sneakers first. I totally disagree. I think they're looking at your eyes, your face, facial hair, and if you have a hat on, they're looking at you, making eye contact. I
Yeah.
never met a girl, I never met my wife looking for shoes. And I'm sorry, Ninja Turtle shoes are really crazy. Bigs up to Air Bulls. I don't have to tell you, they do amazing things.
Cool stuff.
But
They've got some crazy shit. But
uh, those guys are great guys. Let me tell you, inspirational dudes.
yeah.
But they are getting hat packages as we talk, so
Oh,
don't
nice.
worry about that. Yeah, and so that's how it started. And I got hooked up with. I made two extra hats, and I'm like, the first person that sends me a nice message that is down to earth, I'm giving a hat to. Ninja Toidos. Hey, what's up? I saw your hats. Those are really cool. I was like, who the hell are you? He's like, I'm Josh to do this Ninja Toidos stuff. I'm like, yeah, I know Ninja Toidos from my toilet. And he's like, well, I've never seen a hat like yours. And I was like, oh, you like it? And he's like, no, I gotta have it. I was like, it's yours. I was like, how much? And I was like, the first person to show us the love was getting the hat. And he's like, when could I get it? I'm like, it's in the mail tomorrow. And he got it, and he's like, whoa, what? I'm not taking this thing off. And every picture he has my hat on, I was like, oh my God. And he's like, dude, you're onto something. You need to start like posting it. And I was like, I have a job. I can't just sit home and make hats all day, you know? I
Yeah.
have a family, I have to do like health benefits. I don't have the luxury of just sitting by a machine. And he's like, but they're like so good. And I'm like, the best part about it is I could do limited quantities and pinpoint who gets what. And I'm never gonna make the same hat twice. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I have three different ideas. And he's like, what? I'm like, I got a hat with the weapons. I got a hat with Bebop and Rocksteady. And he's like, how'd you get like the materials? I'm like, I source it. And he's like, what do you mean you source them? Like, I go to Goodwill. I found Bebop Rocksteady, grabbed it. Found pizza with the turtles, grabbed it. Found the green one, grabbed it. And he's like, then you just think about the angles and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, again, back to that adult beverage and just creativity. Like, I'm drawing Mickey Mouse cartoons. You've seen my sketches I showed you, the chicken scratch, you
I
know?
saw there. It was so you show me these pictures of bar napkins with these lines on. Now I maybe I just don't have this skill set. Like, when's the first time you made a hat like ever in your life? Like, when did you first start that?
I really wanted to stand out. And I was like, everyone does these custom sneakers. And I do really high end North Face hats. If you
Okay.
see my Instagram, you'll see. And
Yeah.
I take $200 jacket and cut them up into like 8 hats. And
Does
they
that
had a
make
huge
people? I'm
following.
sorry, just interrupt you. I'm sorry. Does that ever like piss people off?
No, because in this business, you have to know how to negotiate. So I'll hop on eBay tonight and
Sure.
it's winter. It's summertime. Who the hell is buying winter jackets? So what I'll do is I'll get a haul. And now comes winter, I'll be sitting on 6 North Face jackets. And then I'm able to just cut them up, use the logos, and come up with these patch hats. And they're waterproof. And people just, I went to a North Face meetup and there was like 100 people. And it was crazy.
That's
So
cool.
then I got that following. And then I started with this turtles thing. And I was like, these collectors are nuts. But I
Oh
have
yeah.
to figure out what a proper price point is. And people like, that's a $50 hat. And I was like, F you, go to Walmart for $50. I'm not Walmart. And then they tell me like how to run my business. Like, well, you would sell a lot more hats. I said, I could sell less hats at a higher price than mass produce at a cheaper price. What the hell kind of business do you run? And they're like, you're looking at it wrong. I'm like, no, you're looking at it wrong. It's art, it's limited edition. And when you go to these Comic Cons, someone's gonna look at you and be like, where'd you get that?
Yeah.
You go to like the Roosevelt booth and they'll look at you and be like, who made the hat to match the hoodie?
Yeah. I mean, when I started seeing them online, like I don't know, like a few weeks ago, a month ago, maybe not much more than that, and maybe it was Ninja Turtles because I follow him. But there was a few people that I was like, this is cool. Like, it immediately caught my attention and stuck. And when we connected recently, I was like, oh shit, I know who you are. You've been making these awesome hats that I've been seeing.
Yeah. And then this guy hits me up and he's just like, I have a question. I was like, oh, I have an answer. He's like, I want a fanny pack. And I was just like, okay. It's gonna cost X amount of dollars. And he's like, okay. And I was like, I have full creative control. And he's like, do your shit. And he's just like, I'm never gonna take this thing off. And he has Mirage bedsheet fanny pack. It's like it could hold a gun, it could hold medical supplies, EpiPens, asthma inhalers, you know.
The whole range of things.
Well, you think about it, the back of my hat has the compass, a flint, and a whistle.
Oh yeah, so let's show this. So the back of the hat's like the little strap part. It's adjustable, right? But
Spandex.
okay, but it includes a clip and a compass and a whistle.
You get lost in the woods, you
This
have the
hat could save your
compass,
life. This hat will save
you
your
have
life.
the compass, and then you have
Yes.
the flint.
What made
So
you?
actually, when I branded it, it was the survival of the Foot Clan hat.
That's great. I love that.
And then people are like, where do you come up with this stuff? I'm like, where is your originality and creativity? Why
Well, that was
don't
my
you?
question. Like, where did you? I mean, what made you think of the clip? Because it's such a cool detail that I never would have occurred to me.
It's so funny because I was buying hats originally a couple of years ago before making them, and people were sending me these flimsy clips. And I'm like, this serves no purpose.
Hmm.
And then I started researching, and a lot of this was like trial and error, the zippers, the reflectors. This was all like thought out for months and years already, and then just perfected. And then I'm like, for $4 more, I could add this clip that glows in the dark. Why the fuck not? And then I'm thinking, I was on a plane. I was like, if my plane goes down right now, and I survive the plane crash, and I wind up on an island, and I somehow keep my hat, fuck everyone on this plane. There's no lighters. There's no fucking gasoline. I'm surviving. Fuck everyone.
Thanks for the hat. Yes.
And they're like, well, you think that compass would really work? I'm like, well, you know what? You ask Gilligan if a compass would work. Let's try it. At least have a shot. And then people just hate. They're like, yeah, you got to survive the crash and then swim. And I was like, shut up. We washed up on the shore. And they're like, yeah,
In
but
a very,
the flint
in a
won't
very
last too long.
specific, in a very specific set of circumstances, this hack could save your life.
That's my sales point. Who else is telling you that?
That's great.
And then people are
Also,
like,
like
yeah, that's awesome for like Boy Scouts. And I was like, I never thought about that, but yeah, it's cool.
that is cool. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
said you went to Goodwill and stuff like that, and just bought bed sheets, anything turtles you could find, because you use mostly retro stuff, but you use some modern things too. I've noticed. Do you save the modern stuff for the inside linings?
It's so funny you mentioned the inside line. That's brand new.
Oh, okay.
Do I have an example?
Because you
I
showed me
do
a few
have an
insides, and the
example.
inside lining
This
was
is this is
okay.
what I started with, but it says pizza. How can you go wrong with that?
Yeah, no, can't go wrong.
But this is just a black lining.
Got it.
And then I was just like, like I always got to think about the upsell, like a business perspective. I'm like, what would really be cool?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it'd be really cool. You take off your hat and you have more Ninja Turtles on the inside, like double sided. Like, how can you tell me it's not worth it? You're just lying to me.
I mean, like I've been like Joanne Fabrics and stuff, and they have some turtle lining. My daughter has pink turtle bed sheets, which are great. I mean, they have some cool modern shit. Like I think the retro stuff is probably the best selling, but there's cool modern stuff that you can supplement it with.
Here's my problem. I don't like, probably like you, I don't like to do it if I don't have a passion for it.
Yeah.
So if like you tell, this is what I tell people, like pick a turtle, and they'll be like, I want Michelangelo, and I'm like, okay, that's it. And they're like, well, I was thinking this. Is like, I don't give a shit what you think. I was thinking you give me my money, I do the hat, and that's how it works. This is why it's custom. And I'm like, and they're like, well, and I'm like, if you could think about all this, just do it. What are you talking to me for? Go to a seamstress, cut the fabrics, and do it.
So is that the criteria that you just say what's your favorite turtle and then that's it and then you go from there?
That's how I did with the character hats. But now with this Bebop Rocksteady, I
The
just
Bebop. So let me tell you, just tell the audience, the Bebop and Rocksteady one is awesome. I'm a huge Bebop and Rocksteady guy. Donnie's my favorite turtle, but outside like Bebop and Rocksteady, I'm nuts about. And I saw
yeah,
that
like
Bebop and Rocksteady hat you did, and it is
when
awesome.
I saw the print, I was just like, this is so vibrant.
So
It's
good.
so people that don't see it, it's a purple with all the turtles and like a pizza pie and Bebop and Rocksteady behind jail in the front of
What
the hat.
is that a sleeping bag? What is that?
That's actually a sheet. And I'll show you this. Look at this.
I don't remember that. That's so interesting.
You're gonna remember it in like 2 seconds. I'm gonna show you. I just gotta think about which hat it's in. Just give me 1 second.
Because the one everybody remembers is the one that the brickish looking one that became a Roosevelt shirt. That's the one I feel like everybody did. But they had several different ones. So yeah, I guess this is a different one. I just don't remember this.
So I did this specifically. This was a pain in the ass.
Okay.
Real pain in the ass. 1991 Mirage.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
left,
You saved the thing. That's so cool.
I left it in the hat and it just totally kicked ass.
The Bebop and Rocksteady one, like it's so cool. I'll again check it out at Custom Hats New York. What else is on the horizon? Are you branching out into anything else, or hats and fanny packs are really where it's at right now?
I keep telling people, if you have an idea, I'll do it.
Sure.
But again, like I don't have to tell you about this market. People are with the action figures and they're fake action figures, they're counterfeit, and like I'm not selling any counterfeit hats.
Right. Yeah.
People always look at my Instagram, they're like, are you like a real person? Where can I buy this shit? I'm like, listen, here's the deal. You buy it from me. I'm not into Etsy. I don't want to give anyone a dime of my money. I don't want to set up a website and give a transaction fee and then a website fee. Then I have to charge you $200 per hat. And then you think I'm an asshole, but there's my overhead.
Yeah.
So I cut
Sure.
out I cut out everybody.
Yeah.
I cut out Big Cartel. I cut out Etsy. I cut out eBay. Who needs to pay anybody? And then people like, who the fuck are you? You say in your basement next to your laundry pipe with all this shit? And I'm like, yeah, I got like 150 hats. And I'm sipping at 18 tomorrow and I have four left. Like, what's good? They're like, well, times are rough. And I'm like, yeah, I have a wife and kid and a mortgage and a car. What are you talking to me about? They think I'm 22 years old, you know? And I'm like, no, I'm 83, born in 83. This is like my childhood. And all because of stupid Roosevelt this started. And it's just
Um,
craziness.
so the way to get the hats is to DM you and go from there.
Send me a DM. I'll send you the patterns I have. And then we talk about if you want. It's a 5 panel hat. Bebop and Rocksteady are combined on one panel. You have Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, and Leonardo on the other 4 panels. And yeah, that's like my mix up. Concept 3 I'm on now.
Do you want to share prices here, or do you want to just do that via DM?
I would rather prefer DM, but the more you buy, the cheaper the price, honestly. I have some
Cool.
collectors that bought all four. Then one collector bought 5 in the bag, and I was just like, God bless you. But um, I want to get it out there, but I also don't want to be pimped, you know?
Yeah, and you don't want to stop being fun, right? Like that's the thing too, right? At some
I
point, it's
also
gonna be
want I want people to not have it. I want people to be jealous, you know?
like, sure, yeah,
I want them to be like, oh, next month, I don't know what this kid might come out with, but I need to put $125 aside.
yeah. I mean, like I said, you've never made the same one twice. I've seen a bunch of different ones here. I also seen like you did an awesome Simpsons one, which I loved. Some
Ghostbusters
Ghostbusters, some other
still
cool shit.
hasn't sold. I can't believe it. It bugged me out.
Really, Ghostbusters hasn't.
Fantasia sold out in about 3 seconds.
That's so. Maybe it just depends on if it infiltrates the fan base. Like right now, your hats are doing the rounds in the Turtle fan base, so maybe that's it. But I don't know how the Ghostbusters fan base works. So maybe
I
maybe
just can't believe it. The
I don't
movie
know.
just came out. I released it for the movie, and I'm still sitting on it right in front of my house.
There's a couple
It's
of them you
weird.
have. I see like two different Ghostbusters ones.
Yeah, I have two. I have one with Ecto 1, and I have one with. I don't want to talk about it. I was so bummed out. I'm bummed out over it.
Sure, yeah,
And then there's some pieces you get emotionally attached to, and you don't want to let go. Like, I really don't want to sell Bebop and Rocksteady, but they're like so awesome not to share with someone, like a
yeah,
real collector. But it's just great to have the whole experience because everyone's like, I don't know what to tell you, they're really opening and really warm and friendly, and they admire the work, and I admire their work.
yeah. Well, you're doing cool shit, man. And really, I just want to ask you one last question before I let you go. Is who's your favorite turtle and why?
I think Michelangelo is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was always a Michelangelo dude. I have to be honest with you, my big star is Raphael, and I hate Raphael's rude. You know. So I never really got the whole Raphael part. I don't like him in the movie. I don't like any of his attitude. I don't like. Casey Jones is one of my other favorites,
He,
and
okay.
I'm dying to get Casey Jones print. If anyone finds a Casey Jones bedspread, please
I
send it to me.
don't
We can
think
work something out.
I'm trying to think here, dude. I don't think I've ever seen Casey Jones on a print. Like
Yeah,
he
I
barely.
haven't even seen Splinter to be honest with you.
What about like old T-shirts? Or no, did the print not work? Do they peel?
I can do anything with anything, but I like having a nice full size sheet to work with. So it's
Oh,
not just
sure,
a
sure, sure.
pillowcase or one shirt, and that's it. You know.
There was
Because
that.
now that I'm able to have all these prints, I'm able to just do one print that panel, one print that panel, one print that panel, and
Yeah,
totally change it up. And look, the pieces on it. Like, what else do you need?
yeah, that's awesome. And I'm trying to think. I mean, they had a tent, but I imagine that's not the same fabric. That's tough, dude. I don't think maybe Splinter. I don't think Casey Jones made it to anything like that.
Yeah, now you have me on this stupid project tonight. I'm gonna be on eBay looking for Casey Jones bedspread. Like, you have no idea.
Let me know if you find it, because like it's really like he barely made it to the cartoon. He was in 5 episodes. It's just like I guess they didn't think he would market and sell the
I
same.
have him on T-shirts, but I haven't got to that level where I've done a T-shirt yet. But I do have him on a T-shirt of 100%.
Yeah, he's been on a few shirts, and even back in the day, there was some cool like Mirage stuff with him, like from the old comics, in old shirts. Like if you want to keep it retro and not modern, but
Yeah.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's tough. But good luck to you. If you find a bed sheet that had Casey Jones on it, I've never heard of it, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I might sacrifice a shirt just to make like two hats out of it and just be like, but then I get like, what do you do? How much can you charge for a Casey Jones hat that doesn't exist that you create?
Yeah, sure.
How do you put a price on that? And then you look at it and you're like, I don't even want to sell it. Some guy just told me, honestly, I got a message while I was late to this. He's in Miami, rich dude, Star Island, nephew's birthday party, wants to buy Bebop and Rocksteady. Honestly, I don't want to sell both of them. I want to keep one. And he's like, name your price. I was like, fuck this guy. He's not gonna know any money. He's not gonna have his dick. I was like 250, 265 shift. He's like, I'm giving you in half an hour. I need those hats for my nephew. I was like, can I be your nephew? Fuck, thank you. Mhm.
And
And
that's
then I was showing
fine
him
sheet
all the
too.
cool shit, and he's like, "That's honestly the coolest hat I've ever seen in my life." I
It's
showed him
very
the
cool.
glow in the dark Paco, and he's like, "That's crazy." I was like, "God bless you guys." But it was great chatting, and I definitely want to get you a hat, 100%, because you're close by.
Oh yeah, dude, I would love to. I mean, you know, we should. I'm like I said, you're in Long Island. I'm not that far from you. I come down there often, so.
Yeah, I'm going up to Hudson Valley on Monday, actually.
Oh,
So maybe
nice, very
we'll,
cool.
we'll plan something. Yeah,
Sounds good, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'd love to bring you a hat.
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
All right, so we'll talk.
Dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And everybody, again, Custom Hats NY on Instagram. He's got some really cool shit. I'm gonna post this episode real soon, so hopefully that'll send a few more DMs your way.
Awesome, I appreciate all the help, and we'll be in touch.
Take care, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night. Be safe.
Dude, bye.
Dudes, when battling the foot, my motto is keep your feet planted, except of course when you're in the air. Which brings us to the Turtle Bubble Bomber. Our Bubble Bomber drops smoke-filled bubble bombs. Boom! A really awesome jet with really awesome bombs. And that brings us to another great vehicle, the Sewer Sand Cruiser. Turrets rotate, makes gunfire sounds, that'll get the foot flying. So dudes, remember, a good turtle general never finds himself in the soup.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I hate soup jokes.
I'm here with John and Katie of East Coast Toys. This is part of our retailer special, and these are some people I've met in person, and they sell some really cool stuff, including a lot of Ninja Turtles. John, Katie, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having us.
My pleasure. So, just so the audience knows, you are East Coast Toys with a Z, East_Coast_Toys. Let me ask you, what do you guys do? Can you describe what kind of store you are?
All right, so we're vintage toy resellers. We help collectors all over the world get back toys that they loved as kids, and that's pretty much the basis of it. And we do specialize in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Cool. Yeah, and I have at least once, but you've been to Granite Con too, right?
Actually, we haven't been to Granite Con yet, but we are going to be there in September.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen you guys once before. We just met at Portsmouth for the mini con.
Correct.
But I feel like I've
Yeah,
went,
mini con 40. Yep.
yeah. By the way, what did you guys think of the Portsmouth con? How great was that?
It was mind-blowing to be there as a seller and a collector. It was really hard keeping the two separate. I found myself more often being in the room with all the creators than at my booth selling.
Understandable. It was a pretty amazing room of people, for sure.
Yeah, and then once Laird showed up, that was brought it to a whole nother level. Like, wasn't expecting that at all. And then a couple creators came by our booth and stuff, and just chatting with all the creators of Ninja Turtles was really a great experience. Just really brings it to another level of collecting when you start meeting the people that made the toys and made it all come true.
Yeah, Peter Laird was there for Saturday and Sunday of the Portsmouth Minicon, and it was not confirmed beforehand, so it was a nice surprise that he was able to make it, which is pretty
For
amazing.
sure.
Yeah, it was unreal. Yeah, like, the buzz in the building the first day was incredible from him being there. And the cheers too, like you couldn't even imagine like hearing the cheers when he entered the room, when Eastman and him sat down together. Just iconic moments.
We were happy to be there for sure.
Yeah, it was great.
Now, how did you guys get started with East Coast Toys? What generated it?
I would say generating East Coast Toys would be over collecting. I think a lot of sellers or resellers start off that way, probably just collecting way too much. But then a part of it too was just realizing like
the same thing that happens to us when we go and buy a toy for our collection. We get happy and love it. We love seeing the joy in other people's faces when we sell them a toy that they love and bring back memories from them as a child and things of that nature. So that's a lot of it too that brought it along. Noticing that we had a lot of toys that we could sell to people that would bring them that joy and just pay it back.
No, so both of you are collectors?
Correct. Yeah, we both love Ninja Turtles, but then we do split off a little bit on our sub collections. She likes Pokemon and Nintendo and DK. I'm more into Nickelodeon. I like Nintendo stuff too. Street Sharks, things of that nature too. And we sort of do like all the same things, but we Ninja Turtles is the basis of our collection.
Yeah.
Were you both fans when you were kids?
Definitely. I think definitely more the movies maybe in my life and the toys for sure.
Yeah, correct. It was actually the video games and movies for me. I wasn't really into the cartoons. I was more into the movies and the video games. Me and my cousins rocked them for a while. Toys, he also had a lot of himself. So a lot of my turtle experiences are through like my cousins and other family members. I didn't have many myself, which also is why I think it sparked so big when I'm older because I didn't have them as a kid. So once I had money and mom can't say no to me anymore, I started just buying as much Ninja Turtle stuff as I could.
I think maybe a lot of it's the hunting too.
Yeah.
Finding stuff, it's all fun.
Yeah, there's a lot to, once you have a love and a passion for a certain toy line, all of that comes into play. And just, yeah, like she said, the hunting, there's just so much into that. And then once you find something, it's just a great hobby to be into.
How many years ago did you guys start start the selling?
Selling, I'm gonna say about 4 to 5 years ago we started selling. Collecting probably 4 to 5 years before that. Not as big as we are now, but we were definitely dabbling in it. I was actually into sport collecting before this, and then what happened was I got into gaming and stuff and had my little man cave of sports and gaming, and I saw Ninja Turtles as the sport turtle line there. So I thought that would be a great addition to my man cave. And once I got that line, it just sparked.
It just took off.
Yeah. Eventually, all the sports stuff came out of the room, just started being turtles. The whole room became Ninja Turtles. And currently now we have a whole upstairs of our house is a Ninja Turtle.
I have no choice but to like Ninja Turtle, really, right?
Yeah. Once it took over, it took over.
That's awesome. Let me see. So you guys have done cons a lot. And can you name some cool experiences? I mean, obviously we just went over Portsmouth, but any really cool encounters and things like that have happened at these cons?
Well, nothing really celebrity wise or anything like that besides Portsmouth there. I mean, we do go out to certain Comic Cons. I mean, I think it was last weekend or the weekend before, we went and saw Dooney and Lawson again.
Oh, nice.
And because they saw them in Massachusetts.
Comic-Con, yeah, like a brewery. Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. But other than that, we do meet like certain people that do actually work for companies like Viacom. I've met some toy creators for them through working at cons. We also have met people that have worked for Mirage Studios back in the day and heard some good stories from them.
Sure.
Just a lot of cool things. Once they can see like you're a passionate turtle collector, a lot of people let you into their experiences too, and you meet a lot of people along the way.
And I'll say this: you guys have a great selection. So I'm somebody who's been collecting since I was a kid. I've never gotten rid of much. And I'm kind of at a point now where I have almost, at least vintage-wise, almost everything I wanted. And
wow,
still a handful of things that like you guys had for sale that I hadn't seen. I'm kind of getting into like the junky, like the weird stuff.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and I saw you guys had the cereal bowl, and I was like, which I'd never seen in person before, and I was stunned by how small those cereal bowls were. I thought they're so weird.
We remember that now. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, I think that's where it gets to once a serious collector gets to that point in their collection. I mean, like obtaining the figures and everything that comes along pretty easy to a degree, but once you get to that point where you have all that, the oddball stuff and the rarity stuff is really where it's at. Like that's obviously my favorite part of my collections too, is the merchandise, sort of oddball standees, posters, merchandise. Yeah, all of that stuff's really, that's where our main focus is on our collection now that all the figures and stuff are all complete up there.
You guys have had some. I think I saw you had a couple animation cells too for sale.
Yeah, actually, we did.
I
Can't
did.
see them now, but they're actually behind us there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We did have those. Those actually didn't get purchased, but we hope that those go soon.
Yeah, a lot of the larger artwork one, I think.
Yeah, we had a lot of limited art from other Comic Cons. Can't remember the name of the company isn't right now, but
Yeah, I don't know. Forget.
So, where is your guys's? If people want to check out your store online, where's the best place to go?
the best place to go to get all of your information on all of our social media platforms is Instagram. You check us out there, and there should be links to all other platforms, Mercari, whatnot. We do a lot of shows on Facebook as well, and also by following us on Instagram, you can see where we will be vending in all our live upcoming shows, as Granite Con is one of them.
Cool. I will be there as well. So
Awesome.
Very cool.
is there any cool like Grail pieces you guys have found over the course of doing this that I don't know, were surprising or anything like that?
So some surprising Grail pieces. Actually did bring down a few from our collection to show you. So this hotspot we actually brought to MiniCon 40.
Oh,
we
nice.
actually did have it signed by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. We got this a month ago from one of our good friends. That's one of our prize pieces. We also have a Farmer Don in box. That's another top item of mine, just because I was born in the country and you mix turtles with farming, and it's just really rad.
Yeah.
And that one also is signed by Laird and Eastman as well. And then the rarities. We have some rare VHSs in there, like foreign VHSs. I got the soccer ball up there. That's a hard one to come by.
I know you like the bootlegs or the weird.
Yeah, the bootlegs too. Like you said, anything just like you are right now. Anything obscure and odd is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't ventured into bootlegs very much. I hopefully I kind of can resist that.
We were lucky enough to get our hands on the whole Dino Turtle line. If you get a chance, check them out.
They're really cool.
That'll get you hooked.
Oh, for bootlegs?
Yeah, so they're Dino Turtles. Yeah, I should have brought them down to show you.
They're real vintage looking too.
Oh wow, I know the actual ones from the line. I didn't realize there was some other bootleg version.
Yeah, maybe they're called something different than I'm not thinking of. Dino Warriors.
Well, they send you a picture after.
Yeah, I'll send you a photo.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with those.
But they're all like miniature dinos, and they have like they have a mass across them, real bootleg looking stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, please. Yeah. My last question for you again. So again, everybody check them out. East Coast Toys on Instagram. East_Coast_Toys with a Z. I guess so. My last question for each of you is I'll do two. What are each of your favorite turtles?
I would go Donnie, I guess, usually.
Why is that?
I don't know. I guess in the movies he's kind of the guy like purple, it gets me. I gotta just say the simple go-to. But no, the glasses, he's the smart guy planning stuff, he's cool.
Yeah, and for me it would be as a kid, it was Raph, because everyone loved Leo, and I just had like this thing with not being with the crowd. I wasn't gonna be a Leo lover like everyone else.
Too.
Yeah.
No one like Donnie.
And Raph as a kid was because he was just a badass. The attitude, strong guy, muscling everyone around. But now that I'm later in life, it's 100% Mikey. Like I relate with Mikey, 1,000%.
I definitely like
love
Mikey
pizza,
too.
love them all. I'm still a kid, so
hard to pick one.
Yeah.
You each have and last question is each of you a favorite figure from the whole line, like a
favorite figure. I should have really thought about this.
Or if that's too hard, like a favorite I don't know, like a favorite Mikey for you and a favorite Raph for you, or Mikey.
I'd probably say like Punker Donnie. I love
Punker Donnie's great. That's a great one.
He stands out, yeah.
That's a good line.
Just simple, there's tons of good ones though.
So it's hard for me to pick just one, but I do have like an obsession with mixing dinosaurs and turtles. So yeah, the cave line, the dino line, both of those turtle lines I love.
Those ones kill, yeah.
Yeah, those are absolute fire. And I actually do army build the dino turtles. So those ones, yeah, that's my the only army building I do. Everyone army builds foot soldiers or trangs or something of that nature. I went for those, which are very hard to get, but it's a good one.
I was saying, like, yeah, army building those. Let's tell we have 3. Like, that's really hard. Like, that's
It's a small army.
Yeah,
No.
I think at the moment we have roughly 2 to 3 of each one.
wow. That's
You don't
impressive.
need many of them, you know?
Yeah, they are a very fun line for me. But that would be where I would say if I had to pick a favorite figure, it'd be one of them in there. I'd probably go with Raph.
Raph is really cool.
Yeah, Stego Raph is really awesome. And to get him loose with all the spikes on his back is it's very hard.
Oh, the one where he's part Stegosaurus?
You're correct, yep.
That line I don't have. That's one where I really regret not getting. I thought you were talking about the cave turtle ones.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
that
dino.
line I don't have
when I saw those, it really sucked me into turtle for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. In the beginning, I noticed all the ones that I were like, oh, that one's so cool. That one's so cool. That one's so cool. And then you find out as you're going, like, yeah, that one's really expensive. That one's really,
Yeah.
and much harder to find. But once you get them, that's where the real joy is. You find that one you've been looking for so long, and there it is,
Yeah, I'm on the hunt for. I think the only one I'm looking for really actively is Super Mutant Shredder. One of the rare gaps that I'm like, I have everybody else from the line, but I don't have him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, one day. Well, hopefully we can help you out with that one day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me know if you get a Super Mutant Shredder. So, all right, guys, a huge pleasure talking to you and meeting you. I'll see you at Granite Con. Again, that's East Coast Toys and Instagram. Check them out. They got lots of cool shit. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for having us again, man.
My pleasure.
Surprise! Oh, what a surprise! Open your presents! Yeah! It's Raph the Magnificent! Hey, the rabbit pops up! Here's another one! Yeah, open mine! No, mine! It's Crazy Clown and Mike! Wow, extendo legs! Open this one, dude! Come on! Oh, it's Party Reptile Leo! What does he do? Yeah! Bodacious birthday turtles! Just what I've always wanted! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
Up next in this retailer special is my interview with Pixels to Perlers on Instagram. That's Pixels, the number 2 Perlers. He sells in perler bead form, those beads that you melt together, reproductions of sprites from video games. And he does commissions, he does turtles, a lot of turtle stuff, but also some other video games like Mario and Street Fighter and stuff. Anyway, check him out on Instagram, Pixels to Perlers, and here is my interview. Thanks. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So the goal of this episode is to talk to a lot of different kinds of people who sell turtle stuff, and yours is pretty unique. You take perler beads and oftentimes use, most of the time, I think, are taking artwork from pixelated video games and turning that one into the turning perler beads into that. I guess my question is, how did you get started doing this?
Well, it was I randomly was me and my sister were living together, and we were moving out, so we were cleaning out the closet, and I found she had a starter kit of perler beads, and I asked her what these, I go, what are these things? And she's like, oh, they're these beads or whatever. And then I thought back, and I remember seeing people make Mario things, and they looked like they were beads, maybe. And I go, do you mind if I try them out? And she said, you can have them. I'm not going to do it. And yeah, from then on, I was hooked because I always liked drawing the game sprites. And I found with the perler beads, it's like a 1-to-1 reproduction of the sprite because the beads translate to pixels perfectly. So you get 100% accurate reproduction of a sprite. And from there I just went on, and I started with Mario and stuff like that, and Double Dragon, and then the TMNT arcade games. I had made some of those, and then I got better at it. And I was on the TMT Collector's his show, and he had featured me, and then it kind of blew up from there. He kind of put me on, and I always enjoyed the turtles. And I always loved the arcade games. So that's kind of how I got started, and then really got into it, and then really got into it heavy because I really liked it. And I got a lot of positive feedback. And I started getting commissions and stuff like that. So, and from then on, I just do it like, I try to do it every day. I work nights, 12 hours a night, about 3 to 4 nights a week. So on my off time, I'm usually always working. But yeah, kind of just by chance that my sister had that starter kit.
You know what I'm saying? I'll say this, and I don't like this isn't like hyperbole. You're somebody who actually has like inspired me to do some of this stuff. Because I don't know, my kid we bought perler beads for my kid, and I was just goofing around with him trying, and all I know ever how to make is Ninja Turtle faces. So I was like doing that, and then at some point, I forget who I saw. I think it was your work. It must have been. And like seeing a couple turtle things here and there, and I started trying to make turtle stuff. And I was like, oh, there's something very like soothing about it. Like,
yeah, definitely.
It's like putting together a puzzle, except I fucking hate puzzles. So like this is like that, but somehow I like it.
Yeah, it's relaxing. It's kind of like you just get in the zone, and then it's nice because you're watching it start from one bead to one section of the character, and it starts coming together, and then it's you know what I mean. It's you're watching it come together, and you're doing it, and it's just something you get in the zone, and you could pass 3 hours with no problem. Like I don't know, it's really fun, and then in the end when it's like a complete piece, it's like you've got this video game sprite, like a physical representation of it. It's it's a lot of fun. And I saw you did that.
I think this is also super satisfying because the end result is exactly like as long as you follow the pattern correctly, like you kind of can't mess it up. Like you have to be precise about it, but like you really like you end up with exactly what you want. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and if you mess it up, you're gonna catch it really early on because it just won't add up. It's you know what I mean. You'll catch yourself right away. So it's not something where you're gonna get stuck and not be able to figure out. Like you're gonna be able to figure it out. You just go line by line, and you're like, oh yeah, I put a black here. It should have been a green. That's why this isn't coming out. So it's completely doable. It just comes down to patience, and that's about it. And color selection too. The more colors you have, the better off you are as far as accurate. Reproduction. And some people care about that more than others. That's like my big thing is like I'm trying to make the most accurate representation of a sprite, to do it justice. And I'm kind of anal about it, but that's kind of like what puts my work on a little different level than others. And not everyone has to be like that, but that's just how I choose to be. But
do you remember what the first turtle one was that you did?
Yeah, it was a Turtles. The arcade game was a Donatello doing he was doing like a flying kick. That was the first one I ever did.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
When did you start doing commissions?
What's that?
When did you start doing commissions?
After I started doing them after I had appeared on. This is probably about 2 years ago. I appeared on the TMT Collectors show, on his Instagram show, and then people had DM'd me and bought a bunch of pieces that I had, and then I started getting commissions from there for like sets of the 4 turtles and stuff like that. So that's what really set off the commissions or whatever. Because there's a lot of people that do these beads. Like, there's a lot, but like that was like I'm doing one right now. I mean, it was my latest post. It's from Shredder's Revenge. It's a Raphael. That one will just be for sale, but that pretty much the turtles are what jumpstart my commissions. So, and my first commission piece was a
Shredder's Revenge. So the one you're talking about, the Shredder's Revenge Raphael. First of all, it's cool because it's like an action shot with the Raphael, the side distorted, which is super cool.
Yeah, the glowing side. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, how big is that? Like, if you like,
I can tell you right now. So it's about. Let's see here. So it's about 13 by about 17, 13 by 17. So about 17 inches wide, 13 tall.
Good Lord! Wow. That's I've done a few. Like I've done the first ones I did that were copied from a game where the the original Nintendo game.
Oh yeah.
They're like go to the menu, like the little the square blocks that go to the menu, and they're like you select your character things.
Yep. Yeah, the character portraits.
And those were good because like they were like a good like starter one for me. In that first game, I'm guessing like as the games went on, the sprites are more complicated and they get bigger.
Yeah, they get bigger. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why these Shredder Revenge ones they're bigger than the original arcade version sprites, and the arcade version sprites are very comparable. They're close in size.
Are
Yeah,
they?
but as the graphics got better, the number of pixels in a sprite increases, which is going to increase your size.
Sure.
So yeah, these are like I do some Street Fighter ones, like the Street Fighter Alpha ones, and those are really big too. But
huge.
Yeah, they get pretty big.
Yeah, I'm guessing you had to buy like more and more plates too, like as you went along.
Oh yeah, definitely. I probably have like 10 or 15 pegboards, and then I cut some of them down because sometimes I only need a little bit of plate on the left or the right or the top or the bottom. And instead of having a full plate on there, I used a chop saw that I have, and I chopped them down into smaller pieces. So yeah, I got a lot of pegboards and stuff.
Yeah. I recently did the Game Boy ones, the original.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I did the black, and I did my kid had the idea, and it was genius. Was to do the white and the glow in the dark green.
Yeah, I like that.
Roller cells, and it was like they really like the effect was really it worked really well. It was cool.
Yeah, they turned out really good. I think I commented on them. I said, "Oh, that was a really good idea." They turned out really good because that glow in the dark bead really looks like the Game Boy screen. Like
it green to it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it turned out really good. Yeah, it turned out really good.
Is there any that you like when people commission it? You're like, oh man, like that's really hard. Is there any like particular ones like that like, or do you are bigger? Is that a good challenge for you?
Yeah, I don't know. Like some of the there's I don't know if you're familiar with the game Octopath Traveler. That's an RPG that came out for Switch and now it's out for every console. But people were talking about some people wanted to commission the enemies, and the enemies are like 4 times larger than the characters. So it was more of a price. It wasn't a difficulty thing. Like I said, I can do it. It's just it kind of prices it. It's like the price is just too much, for that much work. You're talking like $500, $600 for something that big because it's huge.
Sure.
You're talking probably 40 inches, 30 inches maybe tall and 50 inches wide. Yeah.
Like, what do you do at that point? Like, I think so the Game Boy ones I just made, they're like, I did them for my kid and they go on the wall. They're like maybe 8-10 inches, which isn't like unwieldy, right? Like at that
right.
Where if it's 30 inches, how do you where do you put it?
Well, that's good. Like I've got some real big ones. I usually paint the canvas and I mount them on a canvas. So I make like an art piece out of it.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I do that with most of them. Sometimes people want to order them naked, without a background, and that's fine too. But like I prefer to mount it up real nice. I mount it with like backing on it, so it's like 3D off the back of the background and stuff. Like,
oh, very cool.
Yeah. I post those all on my Instagram too. If people are curious, they can check them out. Like I got some Street Fighter ones and.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing a couple turtle ones here too, like Michelangelo throwing a foot soldier, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
I was gonna ask you, do you want to share prices on here, or is that something like people should DM you about? Like what? I don't know. It's up to you.
The pricing varies, but let's say I can give you like a rough estimate for just a regular arcade, either of the arcade games, and like a Shredder's Revenge one would be like $60.
Okay.
For a Shredder's Revenge Turtle. 60 to 65, depending on how big, like what's going on. Like action ones would be a little bit more if they're just standing still. It depends on how big they are. And, if people order more than one and then they want a background and stuff like that, the price goes up, obviously, with the handwork involved. But like the first 2 Turtles in Time and the original Turtles game, you're looking at like $45. $45 for a naked one. And it's not bad. I think that's a pretty fair price.
That's not bad at all. I thought they were fair. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Flavor it because it's silly to say it, but it is labor intensive. Like like I said, having done a few of these, like I mean, I'm sure you're faster than I am because but like it does take hours to get them done.
Yeah, it's labor intensive. It's just nonstop hand work, and
And if you tap the fucking thing,
it's over with. Yeah.
oh my god, it's a night. Or like if you're ironing and you trip up or something, and then
that's
like
shot. It's garbage.
You can't half iron one. Like it's ruined.
Yeah, there's no going back once it gets. Yeah, if you screw up in the ironing and like, it's over with. It's
oh my god. Like I've done that a few times and it's like, oh, it's so depressing. It's so
yeah.
It's
yeah. Oh yeah, I blew quite a few pieces starting out. Now, knock on wood, I haven't in a long time, but I've got like my methods down pat pretty well. But it's high stress when you're making it for somebody, and you have a time, you have a timeline because you want to get it out, in a relatively good time, and it's like screw one thing up, and especially how anal I am, like even if it's something somebody might not even notice, I'm gonna make it over. I just can't. I can't send something out unless I'm 100% happy with it. You know what I mean? Like quality is a big thing with me. Like
especially if you haven't done it for like 3 hours and you're like, you think you're done, right? And then
yeah,
that's very rough. And I noticed that you did the flattening thing, which I started doing too because I was like, oh, he does that. That makes sense because they always they curve. Yeah,
they curve. Yeah, that's why I got a bunch of tool steel blocks out of it's from a plastic injection molding press. They're a mold that my buddy's uncle owns the place, so I got all these really heavy blocks of steel that I use that seems to work really well. So yeah, I'll leave them flattened for like a day or two just to make sure.
Are there any ones you like enjoy doing the most, or like are a favorite for you?
Well, yeah, the turtle ones I enjoy. Like I really enjoyed doing this latest Shredder's Revenge one, and I really enjoyed doing the Street Fighter ones too because I'm a big Street Fighter fan. So I really enjoy doing those. I always think they turn out pretty good. So, but the turtles and Street Fighter are probably my top two. Yeah.
Any particularly hard one? Like what was the hardest one you've ever done?
Hardest one I ever did? I would probably say I did a Street Fighter Ryu throwing a fireball. And that one was really hard. There was a lot of just very similar shades, and I didn't have the best sprite to work off. It wasn't the cleanest sprite, so it was blurry. So making out the pixels was kind of a chore.
Sure.
But I was able to do it, and it turned out real good. I actually have it hanging up in my little studio thing. But that's posted on my Instagram too. But that was probably like the hardest one I had to do. And then I did a big Krang for the Turtles arcade, the first arcade game. I did a Krang, and that one was hard too because it was just a logistics issue with how tall it was.
Oh, sure.
It was like 2.5 feet tall or something like that.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through your thing now. The Star Wars ones are incredible. What game is this from?
The Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from the trilogy on Super Nintendo.
Oh my God,
Star Wars.
I don't know that game.
Yeah, they made 3 games. LucasArts and LJN, I think it was. They made Star Wars, and then they made Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi games. Yeah, so I did like the Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader and Luke and stuff. Yeah.
I think I'm set. I just wanted to, like I said, I'm a fan of your stuff, and I wanted to send people to your page. So again, it's Pixels, 2 Perlers, the number 2 Perlers. And if you want to get a really cool, pretty much exact copy of a video game, and you don't have hours to and all these supplies, please reach out. People just DM you.
Yeah, just DM me. Yeah, just message me on Instagram, and that's like the main app that I go on or whatever. Reach out, and everything on my page is for sale. Also, like I don't advertise that, but yeah, everything is for sale, and commissions. I can do anything that's sprite based. So I really appreciate you reaching out and having me as a guest. I think that was really awesome.
Dude, my pleasure. Please. Like I said, I've just been a fan, so I was like, this is an excuse to kind of bullshit with you about it. I really like it.
I appreciate that. That's very humbling. Very humbling to hear people say that. It's like, I don't know. It's still crazy to me to hear people say that, you know. So I appreciate it.
No, my pleasure. Last question for you, because I asked this of everybody. Who's your favorite turtle and why?
Raphael. I just think I just like the red headband. I don't know. I've always been drawing to Raphael. So
cool.
I don't have much more of an explanation than that. I don't know.
That's plenty. Take care, man. It was a pleasure.
All right. Yep. Take it easy, buddy. Bye.
Take care. Bye.